Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering a request from Carrie mainly, No, I think it was Carrie that requested it.
I think that was Carrie, yeah.
Okay. And we are covering Black Sheep from 2006. And as everyone can see, we have V back on the show. It's been a minute. It's been since last year.
I think something like that, yeah.
Holy moly, how did this happen?
And happy pre-Halloween.
Yes. We're all ready for Halloween.
It's spooky season.
Yes, it is. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. So, today, I am drinking the Plum Deluxe Tea Break White Tea. It's got white tea, orange peel, tangerine essence, and honeydew melon essence. See? Uh-oh.
No.
I grabbed that, is this like Time in the Sun or whatever that was in your kitchen? It had like papaya and pineapple.
Oh, yeah, that's a Republic of Tea one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll find that one and link it below if anyone really wants some tea.
The mystery tea.
V actually did get tea, so we need to link it below just for the proof. And I am drinking Bigelow's Mint Medley Herbal Tea. It is caffeine-free and all-natural, and has peppermint leaves, spearmint leaves, rose hips, lemon peel, and hibiscus.
And as always, thank you so much to Plum Deluxe for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our lovely tea sippers, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. And, oh boy, this is a doozy. So for the summary of Black Sheep from 2006, because I did verify there is more than one, so make sure it's the right one.
Oh god, there's more than one?
Yes.
Yeah. There's one, from the 90s, 92 or 98, I don't remember which.
We had a heck of a time finding the right one.
Okay.
But, so, this guy that grew up on a farm and was traumatized by sheep.
By his brother.
Yeah. He goes to the farm that his brother is now operating after their parents' death. And the brother is like, we need to go into the newer age, and we need to get more modern. And I don't know why I used Arnold Schwarzenegger, but this is fine. This is the evil scientist voice. And
Get them to the new age! Ow!
And he genetically modified these sheep to where they're essentially werewolf sheep, to where if they bite a person, the person becomes a sheep, but a mutant sheep. And that's all you need to know. It's just chaos.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they were trying to do entirely.
They only thing that they really explain is that they made sheep person hybrids by taking the brother's jizz and putting it into sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, and he became a father to the sheep at the end. Oh, that was weird.
It was very odd and gross.
Yeah. So for entertainment. So
on that note.
Yes. Moving on before we dwell too much on the chaos. For entertainment, I would give this a 7. It's one of those movies where it is a stupid movie, but it's a high quality stupid movie. And so it I don't know what it is, but just like it kind of reminds me of Jason X, where it's like it's a campy, like crappy, like movie, but the high budget somehow like makes it more enjoyable to watch in a way. And so, anyways, I really enjoyed watching the movie. The effects were absolutely hilarious. The effects overall were pretty decent, except for a few things which I'll get into in the realism. The acting was pretty decent, especially considering the subject of the movie. It's just like, they didn't need good actors, and they actually got pretty decent ones for what it was. Angus's death was like absolutely hilarious. And yeah, I thought it was a little bit weird that sheep farts were a movie plot device, but you know, any movie that uses a fart as a plot device is going to go up in rating in my book. But,
It doesn't take much for her.
but yeah, I am easily amused. This is fine. This is healthy in life.
Embrace it.
Yes, embrace it. And then, but yeah, it's like overall, I think it's a fun, stupid movie. I think it's one of those movies that's definitely more enjoyable to watch with friends rather than without. But it is high enough quality and enjoyable enough that it's like, if you're like, oh, I don't want to spend time with people, that you could still enjoy it, watching it by yourself.
She says so disdainfully.
I don't want to spend time with people. I just want to spend time with the sheep.
No, why would you say it like that? I don't
know.
Oh, you like have a little sheep plushie that you're like all cuddled.
You're just like, sheep.
You're like Netflix and chill with me and my sheep. Oh no.
Stop.
You're getting a little
Please
too close to the
stop.
plot of the movie.
Stop.
Yeah, that was a weird
Moving
scene.
on.
But
Yeah, anyway.
Who next?
Fee.
I think I would fluctuate somewhere between like a 6.5 and a 7. The part that would have hurt the entertainment for me would be the vegans and just how stereotypical, like, new age hippie they made
Yeah.
the vegans of, like,
over the top.
oh yeah, like everything is all about like your chakra, you are a tree, your roots are going into the ground and you're pulling the energy up, and meat is murder, and blah 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 blah. And it's just like every like buzzword that they could think of for a stereotypical like vegan.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I know I had made the comment whenever we watched the movie that, like, back in 2006, I think that was a fairly typical vegan, while more and more vegans nowadays are like, you know, I believe in science. I don't necessarily want this chakra stuff. It's like, I'm just vegan for, like, ethical reasons or whatever. But, yeah, that was a little obnoxious.
Yeah, though it did make for a pretty funny part where like the one vegan, when he's turning into the zombie sheep, he's like eating a rabbit, and then afterwards he's like completely traumatized and he's like
And sobbing.
I ate the rabbit. But like that, they actually did a decent job of not going too far into the stereotypical vegans.
Thank goodness.
They figured out where the line was and they kept pulling back from it. If they had gone too far into it, especially with like the main romantic interest being one of the vegans, if they had kept her on that level the entire film, it would have made the film like unwatchable.
Yeah,
True.
I'm glad that they do little bits and nuggets, and those little nuggets are like painful to watch, but yeah, as you said, I think they did a good job of keeping that balance to where it's like, yeah, they're annoying, and you kind of wish that they didn't put that in there, but if they had to have them in there, they did a good balancing act of not making the movie unwatchable because of it.
Yeah, like that's... The whole rest of the film is pretty entertaining because they've got good enough special effects in it to where you're not just laughing at how hokey it is. You're actually laughing at the parts that you're supposed to be laughing at. But yeah, that's... I mean, it's a popcorn horror movie.
It is.
Horror comedy, really.
Yeah, I definitely consider this a comedy horror movie.
For sure. And I think it was intended that way as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If it wasn't, I would have concerns.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Especially towards the end with the brother. But
I am not one generally for stupid horror.
we know.
I had very low expectations going into this movie. It did better than I expected, for sure. The higher budget and production quality really helped.
It's crazy how that makes a difference.
Yes. Well, and that and the fact that they didn't pull people off the street to do the acting. That they had actual actors that were decent in it also really helped. The plot was dumb. And there's so much wrong with the realism. So much. But I give it a 5.5. Most of the time I give it well under a 5 for stupid horror. So this one did better. I might watch it again. I would have to be in a rare mood. But it wasn't horrible. Like I was expecting it to be.
You didn't feel like you lost a few years of your life afterwards.
I didn't just want to die throughout the whole movie. Just during certain scenes.
Oh, that's good.
And again, a lot of it's the realism. And some of the effects. There were some points where the effects were so stupid and so exaggerated that it made me pump the brakes a little bit. Like, you were doing all right, and then you went there. Like the pulling of the earlobe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had
where
that.
it stretched like this far. Or the very end with the brother's death. I know you found it hilarious. It was ridiculous. Pun intended. And I can see how you would find it hilarious. But it was just weird and kind of dumb to me. And again, very exaggerated. So...
And can we also just talk about the scene where they're like, who's driving? And then it's like a freaking sheep.
That's the best scene in the whole movie.
It really was. That was so great. Like, just watch the movie for that scene and then you can stop. Like, me and V were, like, cracking up with this scene. It's just, like, who's driving them?
For those of you that lean more toward my taste, you probably won't hate it. But it's definitely not going to be your favorite. It's an alright movie. It's alright.
It's just a...
It was better than I expected, to be perfectly honest. I went into it thinking this is going to be like a 3. So it did a lot better than I anticipated. And again, the care that they put into it and the acting and the effects did wonders for it, for sure. For a crap script, it did a lot better than it could have.
Yeah.
It could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yep. But
yes.
So for realism, I mean, not a big surprise, but it got pretty low. I gave it, this might be generous, but I gave it a 1. Yeah, the first thing is the stretchy ear, as just previously mentioned, and the evil sheep fetus. I was confused. I was like, what is this? And oh my god, this might have been a movie mistake, I don't know. But I forgot the relation she had to the brothers, but the woman that was like cooking and stuff, like
I think she was like a caretaker of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was just like housekeeper.
Yeah.
okay. But her gutting
cook, caretaker type.
Yeah.
gutting the sheep and then going to like hand the brother something and she doesn't wash her hands.
But then, like, the blood magically disappears off of her hands
Yeah.
in that scene.
Yeah, she's like, look, they're clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, no. And then, also, whenever the girlfriend, or quote-unquote girlfriend, the love interest, experience, is, holding the gun to them, and the caretaker is like telling her, oh, the safety on the gun is on, and she's walking her through how to work the gun when she's the one at gunpoint. I'm sorry, you're not going to help someone who has you at gunpoint out.
That wasn't the caretaker. That was the
manager.
Yeah, the farmhand,
Yes.
I guess is what he would be.
Oh, yeah. It was the farmhand. Yeah, okay, I remember. I'm Amber.
You
And that was-
remember that?
Amber.
And that was entirely a ploy to get her to hand him the gun.
Which he did play that off pretty well. I was extremely frustrated at first when he's like, safety's on. I'm like, why would you tell her that?
Was like just, but even the fact that it was a ploy, it's just that whole scene, like,
It was dumb.
the fact that, like, she didn't know what she was doing and he was helping her out, but then she, like, handed him the gun and it just, yeah. And then my last point, which probably shouldn't be my last point, but I got tired of writing notes, is the sheep driving. A funny scene it may be. Not realistic.
Not at all.
That's what I got.
Well, I mean, like, I don't think any of us are going to give this a high realism rating, but it's also one of those things of like, this was obviously a film that was not going for realism. It was going for about the same amount of realism that you would get from the Scary Movie franchise. Including the ear stretching and all of that kind of stuff. But even going into, like, characters' reactions to things, like, even, like, within the logic of the world as it is presented. Again, for comedy's sake, everything is super over the top. I think the most realistic thing was the cab driver falling asleep waiting for
Yes.
the guy.
Yes.
But yeah, I would rate this as like a 0.5.
That's what I was gonna give it.
Oh, I was the nice one.
You were the nice one.
This is
Man,
nothing-
like, your ratings this time are actually, like, pretty on par with ours for once. Like, it's like, I love it because it's like I've been rewatching some of the episodes that we did with you, and you'll, like, rate a movie for entertainment like, it's a 10. And
All right, I need to change my rating. Realism for this is a fucking 20.
like, so realistic.
Most realistic movie of the century.
Yeah. So I give it a 0.5. And there was just so much wrong with this movie. So at the very beginning, when the older brother is about to play the prank on the younger brother with the act of animal cruelty,
Yeah.
there's no blood on the ground from his act of animal cruelty. He used a freaking axe in the middle of the yard, and there's no blood anywhere. Also, the prank was unsanitary and nasty AF.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention traumatizing for the kid.
Like, even the Carrie prank, or, you know, the prank in Carrie,
Yeah.
even that was, like, slightly more sanitary, and that was still,
Yeah.
like, pretty nasty.
It was still pretty bad, but he was wearing the dead sheep. That was...
I
He
think
should have
those-
been tested.
Yeah, I think that was all just to kind of prove at the beginning that this kid had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
A lot of mental issues going into that.
And really like sheep. He wanted to be inside the sheep, quite literally.
Anyway, I can see why the dude would need therapy. I feel like they were bad about the transition from that scene to when he's grown up. Mm-hmm. It wasn't very clear. At first I thought it was a different person. Like, different scene, different person. So it took me a minute to realize, oh wait, this is the same dude.
Oh, I picked up on that right away.
Yeah,
same.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite clear to me. But, and then they called his name and I'm like, oh.
Well, they also did say, like, how many years later it was at the bottom.
I didn't catch that.
It had, like, a little thing that's, like, 15 years later.
Oh,
something like that.
I missed it.
How dare.
Anyway, the idiot that takes the biohazardous waste material almost immediately breaks the canister. The canister was full of liquid, so the fetus shouldn't have been alive at all, still. But it ends up biting his earlobe, and it stretches an absurd amount. That same idiot that had taken the fetus picked up the rabbit, first off. A wild rabbit. He was able to just pick it up. And it didn't scream. Rabbits scream, and it's terrifying. It sounds like a child being just murdered.
Or a banshee.
Yes. It is a awful, haunting sound.
Like, I had pet rabbits that got loose one time, and my dogs had to be let out to go to the bathroom, and we couldn't find the rabbits. We're like, we're gonna let the dogs out. It's pitch black at night, and we just hear, like, terrible screaming, and we're like, what the heck? And my dog's just licking the rabbits. They're just being little drama queens. But, like, that was the first time I had ever heard a rabbit. Yeah. That was the first time I had ever heard a rabbit scream, and it was absolutely, like, hauntingly scary.
It's, like, blood chilling.
Yeah, you're just like, what the?
Yes. I heard it for a different reason.
Yeah, that bunny wasn't so lucky.
That bunny was not lucky at all. Our husky girl, who is the sweetest dog ever with people, is a different kind of fan of bunnies and wants to bring us a snack whenever she sees one. And it's happened a few times, and it's just terrifying to hear that scream. So the fact that that dude could pick up a wild rabbit with it being like, this is fine.
Yeah.
And then biting into it. And not a sound was made. I'm calling bullshit. Also, if this virus is supposed to be kind of like rabies, I know it's kind of modified, but they're hyper aggressive and everything. The rabies period, the average is like 20 to 90 days for incubation. Shortest recorded was 4 days, and this happened in minutes.
Yeah.
So it just seems like it acts a little too fast. I could understand maybe hours, but minutes? Really?
Well, and also, like, the way that they cure it
was so dumb.
is
There was nothing
bullshit.
modified. There was nothing modified. She took the same stuff and injected the dude with it.
Well, specifically, it was the liquid that the fetus was sitting in.
Yes! Yes! But not modified.
No.
At all. So, yeah, no, that was wrong. The vegan mentioning the feng shui in here is horrible when there's blood everywhere. Because the feng shui is the problem. That's the real horror. Everything is in the wrong place.
It's terrible.
Yes. But don't comment about the blood splatter everywhere.
No, that's what part of what's throwing off the feng shui.
or the pot that's been sitting on the stove a little too long and is about to start a fire. Yeah. Nah, this is fine. It's just, you need to move the furniture around.
Yeah. That'll fix everything.
And then the sheep driving. And then the dude turning into a sheep. That, the whole idea of it is just so out there and doesn't make that much sense. The fact that he wasn't feeling any different, it was just pain from the bite itself that prompted him to take off the shoe and realize, oh, my foot is now a hoof. This is fine. I'll just get the doctor to look at it later. Like, he was completely trying to blow it off, not freaking out or anything. And I know everybody has different coping mechanisms, but I feel like he would have reacted a little bit more to that. Just a little bit.
He has a very high pain threshold.
Yeah. Also, the skinned and gutted sheep that was hanging upside down in the lab would not have been moving still.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Yes, I have another page.
Oh, no.
The whole movie. Just the whole movie.
I meant it when I said it before, okay? I do believe in, or I can easily see the older brother being super greedy and not giving two shits about safety or ethics and only profits. It's cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. Like, I can easily see that part. I feel like there still would have been some standards because you have to report certain things and you can't always fudge everything. And if you do, then there's some kind of audit typically at some point, which they would have been called out on. Everything. So it just doesn't make sense that they were getting away with this kind of stuff for so long without someone being like, wait a minute. The transformation scenes where he like shakes his head and his face is suddenly different, that doesn't make sense at all. When they hit the sheep with the car, I went on a rabbit hole and looked it up.
Oh my gosh.
So the average sheep actually weighs a little bit more, about as much or a little bit more than a deer. And when you think about it, when a deer is hit by a car, it's gonna fuck up the car.
And maybe the person in the car.
Probably the person in the car. So the fact that there was absolutely no damage to the car whatsoever is complete and total bull. Then we have the dick chomping scene. And it's stretching an absurd amount, just like the earlobe. The explosion effects weren't that great. But the blood and viscera were decent.
Yeah,
I will give it that.
By that.
Yeah, the blood and viscera were really decent, and like the offal pit, that was really good. Surprisingly good.
Yeah.
It's basically like their practical effects were high quality. Their digital effects
were crap.
Not as much.
They never found or killed the fetus thing. The first fetus thing.
That's right.
It's still out there.
They never mentioned it. Not once. After it bit that other sheep, they never once mention it or show it. They also had 2 other canisters in that box that the dude couldn't lift because he apparently missed arm day and leg day and core day.
That's me. I identify with this.
But he took one canister and broke it. Well, the other scientist dude threw the other 2 canisters into the offal pit. So those other 2 fetuses should have been in there. And nothing was shown of them. Nothing became of them. We didn't have an issue from those at all. It was just something that was forgotten. Also, it's a movie called Black Sheep, and there's not a single goddamn black sheep in the entire movie.
Well, maybe they might be meaning the metaphor of, like, it's a sheep that's not like the other sheep.
The black sheep of the family.
Yeah. The black sheep of the sheep.
Okay. But they also should have brought closure to that by finding it and actually disposing of it.
But they also had the dog baa like a sheep at the end, so...
He was messing with the sheep before trying to wrangle them in the area. He could have easily been bit at any time.
Yeah, which it's like...
Wasn't necessarily from the fetus.
What happens to another animal when they get bit is just... Do they turn into a sheep?
I think that's the question they want you to ask.
Yeah.
Like, it continues.
Yeah. But, overall, if you enjoy stupid movies and you haven't watched this one, I think it's worth the watch. And, you know, always more fun with friends, but if you don't have any friends, it's fine alone too.
It would have been more fun with friends. I should have watched it with you guys.
Yeah!
Because we were making commentary the whole time and just yelling things at the screen like, wash your hands!
I was ranting the whole time.
Yeah, we didn't plan this recording session very well. We really need to be better.
In general.
Yeah, just be better. But
and they were not, in fact, better.
maybe we need to create like a Notion page for our like recording sessions. But anyway.
Non-spawn.
Yeah, non-spawn, just nerdy. But, well, what about you guys? Would you recommend the movie to other people?
I would recommend it. At least one time to watch, like, with friends. Maybe watch it more than once for the opportunity to have other people see it.
Yeah.
It would be a funny party movie. That's about the extent of it, for my opinion, but
yeah.
I'm also not really one for stupid movies, so...
We all know. It's like, if this is a listener's first episode, that's one thing, but we all...
It's just not my cup of tea.
Because we get a lot of stupid movie requests, specifically for the reason that you don't like stupid movies.
I know. Guys, please stop.
Our
Please
listeners
stop.
are trying to test Jess's sanity, and...
It's gone. It's non-existent at this point. Just stop, please.
Also, thanks, B, because I know you're a culprit in one of some of these requests.
It's the main culprit.
No,
Not all the
JD.
time.
Oh, that's true. JD, yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. It's about 50-50 with you and JD.
I like stupid movies.
I know you do.
Yeah, I do too, so it's 2 against 1.
Well, V's about to get banned, so...
What percentage am I at now? Like 96?
99.7.
Very important distinction there, that 0.7.
I gotta be very careful with just making it go up 0.1% every time.
That's only 2 more episodes. So that's the end of this recording session.
0.1%.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes by the end of the
Not
day.
1%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How do math?
Anyway.
But anyways, we get off on tangents sometimes.
Sometimes.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and please comment on what you thought of the movie. If you would like to follow V for more of his content, that stuff will be linked below. And if you would like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, and keep up to date with our content, you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and most places you listen to podcasts.
If you'd like to support the podcast, please subscribe, like, and share our content. If you'd like to support us monetarily, we do have a Teespring and PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Plum Deluxe. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. All of the sites mentioned will be linked down below. And until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy. Bye!
Bye.